Hello class, my name is Jennifer Courtwright and today I will be doing my Analyzing Mass Media project for sociology on the magazine that I have chosen, which is Cosmopolitan. Cosmopolitan has been around since 1886. It started out as a first-class family magazine, and it wasn't until 1965 that it became a women's magazine. The issue I bought is the November 2015 issue, which also happens to be their 50th birthday issue. The cover speaks for itself. So sexy. Not only does it say sexy, but Cosmo has placed the Kardashian family for this issue on the cover. Today, this family in society is one that a lot of girls look up to. Inside, we see many ads for makeup. As you can see in this picture, there is a photo for the brand CoverGirl, which is also not only advertising their makeup, but also promoting the new Star Wars movie that is coming out in December. So their makeup, they are trying to get you to buy so you can probably look like the women in Star Wars. We also have an ad for foundation, and it's all the foundation is lined up, and the ad says the makeup that can, so kind of like the can dance. But it's also explaining and telling us that if we wear it, it will cover up our skin and our skin won't feel heavy. And then we also see a mascara ad there with a woman or a girl dressed kind of provocative. Obviously wearing the mascara, but this mascara is to push up our lashes. All of these brands and these ads in the magazine, pretty much all the makeup ads in the magazine are pretty much there to help sell the product as well as get women to try and look like the women in these ads. So it is very hard for women not to buy makeup when they see it in the magazines, because women have an issue with trying to look like other women and feel that if they wear that foundation or that mascara, that they are going to look exactly like the women in the ads. This is another great example of the reason why women buy these magazines and why women since probably 1965 have been buying these magazines is that it's also a training tool. There's a lot of ads in this magazine that help you learn how to put eyeshadow on to make you have that, real sexy, smoky eyeshadow look that a lot of girls like to do. And, they have a lot of training tools on how to wear the right lipstick with the right blush and how to do your hair right. And I think that's another reason why women buy these magazines is it's not just for the quizzes or the crazy silly ads or stories, but it's also for women that do need help. And that's probably one reason why I like this magazine. It's probably the only reason, is that there are articles in there that are good for women if they need help on trying to learn how to apply makeup or do your hair or wear the right clothing or how to, get that latest style that every woman wants. This is one article, and I've seen them in many magazines, not just Cosmo, but I always see these in magazines and they drive me crazy. Um, this article is 5 different ways to be super slim. And it's another example of how this magazine is telling women they have to be skinny to be happy. And, we see like pills there, we see drinks, we see things that are honestly, personally, if you want my opinion as an older woman, they're not going to help you. If you're going to put chemically induced things into your body, not naturally, it's not going to help your body. You're just hurting your body even more. And these are the kind of ads that drive me crazy. I think as a society and our culture, everybody out there, we always want a quick fix. And that's the problem these days, is there is no quick fix. It took time to put on that weight. Guess what? It's going to take time to take it off. And there is no quick fix. To be quite honest, these ads always just are just a selling point, and that's the problem, is they're selling the product and they're not doing what they should be doing, which is helping women to be happy. So, the main part of this magazine is the article of the Kardashian family. One of our words in our book was gestures, which I will get to in another slide about all the words that I've used so far from our textbook. But I feel that these women, I mean, they are an example of how our culture and society have fallen in the past 10 years. It's sad that women are looking at these women as examples of how to live and look. I feel that personally, this magazine shows a lot of airbrushing and photoshopping. There's no way that these women look this way every single day of their life and wake up looking like this. I feel that this message here in this picture is not family, but sex. Can anyone honestly tell me that they have taken a family picture with their family looking like this, wearing white t-shirts and nothing underneath? They are airbrushed, like I said, photoshopped, and sending the wrong message to many girls these days. My last picture that I'm going to show is a picture that I felt was very interesting to see in the Cosmo magazine. It was placed next to the picture of Emma Roberts. She was in a lace bra. It was a very pretty picture. But I feel that this ad should be the example for the whole magazine. It says that the real you is sexy and that Emma Roberts doesn't need retouching, and neither do you. Well, that should be the whole magazine, to be quite honest. I think that this should be the example and the message that we send to every girl in the world, and every guy as well. I mean, there's guy magazines that have men in the magazines, like GQ. You have men in there that their abs are totally photoshopped and airbrushed, and men are just as bad as women. They look at those magazines and think, what can I do to look at that? So I feel that this picture, honestly, was the best ad that I saw in the whole magazine, because it does explain very clearly that we don't need retouching, that we're beautiful, and that society needs to just understand that. Okay, so a couple of the sociological terms from the book that I feel explain and should be part of this magazine is one, culture, which per our sociology book, Real World, their definition of culture is the entire way of life of a group of people, including both material and symbolic elements that act as a lens through which one views the world and is passed from one generation to the next. And that is so true with this magazine. This magazine has been passing the views of the world and their culture and how they look at women and makeup and hair and beauty from one generation to the next since 1965. Then number two, culture wars. Per the book, it states that the definition of culture wars is it clashes within mainstream society over values and norms that should be upheld. Well, I think everybody has a culture war when they look at these magazines, because you could have people that, I mean, buy this magazine religiously, and you could have people that look at this magazine from my standpoint at my age and think it's ridiculous, that this should not be what we judge society on, that there should be more to life than makeup, hair, and beauty tips. Number three, gestures. Per the book, the definition for gestures is the ways in which people use their bodies to communicate without words, actions that have symbolic meaning. That was pretty much what that picture was of the Kardashians. They were pretty much laying there looking sexy and not having to say anything, and their gestures pretty much explained the whole picture. And number four, socialization. The process of learning and internalizing the values, beliefs, and norms of our social group by which we become functioning members of society. And a lot of times I feel like that is what we do. We go off of these magazines to create our social group and who we want to be included with. And my last slide is my reference slide, just my two references I used. One was the Real World Introduction to Sociology book. That's our book for our class, and then also the 2015 November issue of Cosmopolitan. Thank you very much.